Okay, so today we're going to show you how we're hanging a large, this is a window mirror, and it's quite heavy. It's about 40 pounds. We just weighed it. So trying to get these two holes lined up on a large wall like that and hanging it can be a little bit frustrating. And if you just try to take measurements and lay it out, you can be off a little bit, which throws this whole thing off, and it's just not going to look right. This one specifically is 55 inches from top to bottom and 31 inches across. So what we use is what some people call like a story stick, but it's a little template. And this is going to be a lot easier to get up on the wall, level out, and then we can mark where our holes are and drill either into studs or into wall anchors. So what we do is we cut this piece so it comes across here. We mark the center points where those screws need to go. And then we'll just take our drill, put a small hole in each one, and we can actually double check. Let's see if I can get this to flip down a little bit. But you can actually see that these screw holes are going to line up where we need it when we go to put it on the wall. And we actually mark out first the center point of the strip, which is going to be the center point of the piece that you're hanging. And that's to, when you get up there, you can line this now up with the center line so you can get this to lay out where you want it. So now we can just take this template up to the wall, make sure that it's level. We'll take a little punch through there, punch two starter holes, and then that's where we know where we're going to drill into it. And then when we're all done, we can bring this bigger, heavier piece up, hanging on the wall, and we know it's going to be level and centered as well. So now before we get up on the ladder, we just want to remove any old screws or anything like that that was hanging a piece here earlier. And we want to figure out the center point of where we want this piece to hang. Specifically, we're going to reference these two speakers so we can get the piece hanging right in the center, which our center line falls right here. Now we can follow that line up. We'll get our big level here. And you can level it out up there and bring this line all the way up. So we'll be able to figure out where our center point is up there. And then from there, we can use our center stick to level out and find out where we need to drill in. Okay, so now here we just take the measurement in between the two speakers so we can find that center point so we get a good start to our process. Now that we found that center point, we can transfer that line up above to where we're going to actually be hanging the picture frame. So now that we found the center point, now we need a reference point to figure out the height that we want the mirror to hang. So we just took a reference from the speaker height, and then we can figure out how far we want it above those speakers. And from that, we can add that distance plus the distance of where the screw holes will be placed. And that will give us where we're going to use our template. So now that we have that laid out, we can bring up our little story template here, get it centered on our line and leveled, and then I just took a pencil on the first try here so I could double check to make sure those were level, and then I come back with a whole little punch so I can get a nice little hole started for where my screw is going to be drilled in. Now we weren't able to hit any studs, so we needed to use some wall anchors. But the other thing you want to check for is any electrical current coming through there, because you do not want to hit any wires. Now that we got our holes marked out, we can take a little punch to get a little start where our drill bit's going to go through, and we can safely drill into the wall and know that we're going to get the right placement. Now since this didn't fall into any studs, we need to add the anchors, and that you just tap in lightly with a mallet. With the anchors inserted into the drywall, we can come back with our screws now. Now I like to use a screwdriver rather than an actual drill. It gives me a little bit more control because you want those screws exposed slightly so they'll be able to catch the hangers on the back of the piece. Now after a couple of tries here, we'll be able to hook on the piece onto the wall, and if everything laid out properly, you should come in, give it a little check to make sure it's secured on the wall, and then while we got the ladder there, definitely take some Windex and clean it up and make it look nice. Lastly, we come back with just an eraser to clean up all our pencil marks so the wall's nice and clean and good to go. If you can't get them off though, you can always use a magic eraser as well. Well, there you have it. We're able to get this nice piece mounted on the wall. Most importantly, we were able to get it centered where we wanted it to at a nice level line. And that was just by simply using that template, rather than trying to manhandle this piece, which would never be safe, or trying to take measurements and hoping you're not off by a little bit. This process makes this much easier for you. And hopefully, if you're looking at tackling something like this yourself, seems like a less intimidating project to take on. If you're looking for more videos like this, we do have playlists separated below, and those will help you find projects, whether it's in the shop, woodworking, or even simple tasks around the house that we like to share, and hopefully it makes things a little bit easier on yourself. So, from Busy Bee Woodworking, we'd love to thank you for watching the video. Give us a thumbs up, and hopefully we've earned your subscription at the end of this video. As always, thanks for buzzing by. Now you go make some dust. Well, unless you're inside the house, then don't make dust. That's for the shop only. So, yeah. Dad at Home, a Busy Bee channel.